The moon that was lost. The ability of humans to adapt to change determines the extent of human existence at a time when technological advancements are constrained by the speed of light. Powerful telescopes have reached the outer reaches of the known universe, the moon has been touched, and the mysteries of the atom have been revealed. The natural world responded to ancient man's communication with it. Modern man tries to subdue nature rather than converse with it. Today, man and nature are enemies rather than companions. Not so long ago, I had a close encounter with my own past. From the tiny Deccan plateau town of Tuncumcur, my mother had come to see us in the United States. The upscale Palos Verdes Estates neighborhood of Los Angeles had a stunning spring morning. I was taking Mom to the Los Angeles Museum of Natural History, where there was a display of moon rocks that the first Apollo flight had brought back. It was my opportunity to demonstrate how much I understood about space at the time because I was a program manager working on a Star Wars project. Mom had previously enjoyed Hollywood and Disneyland, which she described in her own straightforward manner. She intended to touch the moon today. Mom was a strong, in-charge woman throughout the entirety of her more than 80 years. For all of her 80-plus years, Mom was a sturdy, commanding lady. I had rented a wheelchair for her, but she insisted on walking to the car, just like the strong women of her generation. With the expansive blue ocean to our left and the lovely, green hills of the estates to our right, we traveled through the picturesque Palos Verdes hills. Mom kept a weird silence. Around the turn of the 20th century, Mom had grown up in the Bangalore district village of Tiamagandalu. When she first saw an automobile, she was 7 years old, and for a very long time, kids of her generation used to call it a Zamini rail, a train that moved on land. The ladies washed clothes, cooked, and gathered water from the nearby well while the men worked on the farm during the day. Mom had received reading and writing instruction from the local Maulvi Sahib. She received no other official education. As a result, at the age of 80, she was attempting to understand how humans got to the moon. I was aware that that was just the beginning of her inquiries. I was in direct contact with my past, like a mischievous child telling his mother a tale. I answered, "Yes, Mom, it is true," and I did some of the job, saving more in-depth answers for the queries that were certain to come next. Mom was silent once more. Mom was lost in her own thoughts and completely unaware of the traffic. In 1961, while I was a fresh-faced institute scholar at the California Institute of Technology, I had moved to the U.S. Characterizing the viscoelastic behavior of solid rocket fuels for the Apollo and Saturn missions was my first task. The work I had done on the space programs and all of my schooling at Caltech, Cornell, and a number of other universities had not prepared me for this encounter. A woman who grew up in a time when man and nature were in communion through the enigmatic language of the spirit would not understand what a rocket is. Man has ascended the technological greased pole, scared to look back lest he recover the soul he left behind. She flashed me with another inquiry before I could respond. I made an effort, similar to a student coming home from school and telling his mother what he had learned that day. I spoke to her about astronauts, high-energy fuels, rockets, and the people who toiled for years to make it all possible. Mom named the Hubble the Baggy Durbin as soon as she understood it, big telescope. Mom listened carefully and gave me all the rope I needed to hang myself and gain my bragging rights. The moon rock display was located in the middle of the room. I carefully approached it as I thought of the many co-workers who had worked tirelessly to bring these pebbles home. Mom sat there examining the dark rock with her aged, inquisitive eyes. I took her hand in mine and extended it so she could reach out and touch the rocks. The inquiries began again as soon as we got back in the car. I assumed you had to inhale deeply, touch the moon, and then hurry back. The core of a trip to the moon was there. So far away, let's prepare lentil casseroles. Grandpa should be placed in a vase, and Mom should be placed on a dish. Through the years, mothers have lifted their infants high in the air while pointing to the moon and urging them to catch it. The moon is close to home for these millions of people. You must take a deep breath, touch the moon, and then return. She clung to the enigmatic moon, which fills the longings of lovers and the hearts of mothers, illuminating a peaceful planet in its serene splendor. The moon in the past wasn't really out there. It was in our hearts and within us. When we touched it, it moved us. It was the moon that was lost.